We're beginning Ois Dalid, which is part of the Farbrengen, the Friedrich Rebbe Farbrengen Chof Kislev, Tafresh Tzaddik Gimel. It's in the second Likut of the first Chelek of Likutei Dibburim. And the Friedrich Rebbe is in the middle of describing the greatness of Chai Elul. The three stages in the Baal Shem Tov's life: Gufoi, Nafshoi, Veruchoi. That is Guf, he was born Chai Elul. Nafshoi is when he started learning with the Chai Shiloni at the age of 26. And then 10 years later, 36, is Ruchoi, when his spirit started spreading, when Chai Shiloni forced him to reveal himself. And the Friedrich Rebbe brought and recounted his Sheva Brachas, when many very older Chassidim, they honored him by coming and visiting him in the middle of the Sheva Brachas, which parenthetically was Chai Elul. Friedrich Rebbe got married with Gimel Elul, Tafresh Nun Zayin, the Yom Masmuchim to the Ziyasas of Temchat Mimim. And they were describing various, obviously Farbrengen about Chai Elul, and we heard from other Chassidim. And now we're moving on to hear what Rabbi David Tzvi Chaim shared at that Farbrengen about Chai Elul. Ois Dalet. Rabbi Chassid Radatz, Rabbi David Tzvi Chaim, he told over what he heard from his father, Rabbi Peretz Chaim, which was Sayin Nevel in Chernigov, who was from the Chassidim of the Mittler Rebbe, and the Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek noch, as opposed to Rabbi David Tzvi, which was by the Rebbe Rashab and the Rebbe Marash. So he told over what he heard. Rabbi David Tzvi Chaim told over what he heard from his father, Rabbi Peretz, that he heard from HaChassid HaYashish, the elder Chassid Rabbi Yaakov Haradoker, that he was Mekusher to Reb Mendel Vitebsker, Reb Mendel Haradoker, and he heard from Reb Mendel the following: that the Baal Shem Tov was born Chai Elul Taf Nun Ches, which we already earlier on in the Farbrengen, the Friedrich Rebbe pointed out. The symbol and the simon for this year is Nachas and Chasam. So earlier he said it caused the Nachas Ruach Lamaila, Nachas Ruach down here with the Derech and Avodas Hashem, and that was Nechois Darga. The Baal Shem Tov had to lower himself. But now the Rabbi David Tzvi Chaim shared something that shed a whole new light on the word Nachas. As we're going to see, he caused the Naicha de Rucha from a terrible Gzeira that was meant to hit that year. Zokter. In the year that the Baal Shem Tov was born, they printed for the second time the Sefer Shloh HaKadosh, Shnei Loch Sabris, by Rabbi Shai Alevi Hurwitz in the city of Amsterdam. Now the Friedrich Rebbe points out, you should know that in that year, Nachas, Taf Nun Ches, there was also a tremendous kitrug, Rachman Slan Lamaila, over the Yidden, hanging over the heads of the Yidden of Poland, just like it happened by the Rachman Slan, the first kitrug, initially when the Sefer started being widespread the first time it was printed. That took place in the year Tach Betat, that when they printed the Sefer HaShloh, in middle of the printing, before they even completed it, people started buying it, and it became widespread, and this flared up the hearts of Yidden with tremendous love for the Eibishter, and this caused the Ein Hara, which resulted in Nishtitz says the Friedrich Rebbe, in the Gzeiros of Tach Betat, the known Gzeiros. So Toida Lekel, Baruch Hashem, the year Taf Nun Ches became Ashnas Menucha, in which the Friedrich Rebbe is inferring that the fact that Baal Shem Tov was born and his neshama was nichas, came into this world like Nechois Darga, this caused a nachas, like similar to Noach. It says Zein Nachmenu, Mitzvah Yedenu, etc. So the Baal Shem Tov was 26 years, says Reb Mendel Haradoker, and soon he's going to connect it to a very special pasuk. He says 26 years the Baal Shem Tov led his life like a simple person, a ish pashut. Then there was a break of 10 years in which he learned with Moira Rabbi, as described earlier, and then after which he revealed himself, and then for the final 26 years of his life he was a parnas. He supported and disseminated his Torahs and sustained Am Yisrael. Einmal told over Reb David Tzvi Chaim b'Shem Hanal, which is his father told him over in the name of Rabbi Yaakov Haradoker, in the name of and described what happened, that Reb Mendel Haradoker was sitting by Sudas Yom Tov of Chag HaShavuos, and he was in tremendous dveikus, cleaving to the Eibishter. He was in a different world, and he opened and said, he quoted a pasuk. It says, "Yedei Hashem Yemei Tmimim," literally and simply translated, that the Eibishter knows the days of those that are simple and complete-hearted with him. And he touched much deeper. He said, Yedei Hashem. A person wants to know the Eibishter's name. How do you achieve that? Kommen das Wissen from the Yemei Tmimim. You can know it, know the Eibishter's name, by taking heed and noticing the days of those that are referred to as Tmimim. What are Tmimim? So he says, these are Tmimim are people that they cause Tmimos in the world and Kivyachal in the Eibishter. They're Mamshech Elikus in this world, hence, and they're Mamshech and they connect Elikus to this world and this world to Elikus. Hence, they make this world complete by unifying it with the Eibishter, and being that this is the Ratzon of Hashem and the Ratzon of Elikus, they Kivyachal complete the Ratzon of Elikus. So they make them both complete. And he says this is reflected in, and say, Hastis the Baal Shem Tov is these Tmimim that we're referring to. And how do you know Yodea Hashem, Hashem's name? So he says by noticing the Yemei Tmimim. Look at the lifespan of the Baal Shem Tov. He says that the Baal Shem Tov lived 2 times 26 and 1 time 10 in the middle, as we mentioned earlier. The first Chavav, the first 26 years, are Kemispar Shem Havaya and Elam. It reflects the Shem Havaya, the Eibishter's name that's concealed. And therefore, this is reflected in the fact that the Baal Shem Tov in those years was concealed. Don't worry, soon in the next Ois, another member of this special Farbrengen of the Friedrich Rebbe's Sheva Brachas unpacked and explained the meaning of Shem Havaya and Elam and Shem Havaya Hagolui, the Chassid Reb Leib Hoffman, which is in the Kubel. So the first 26 was Shem Havaya and Elam, and the under Chavav, the next 26 is Shem Havaya Hagolui, the revealed Shem Havaya. And therefore, in the last 26 years, the Baal Shem Tov was revealed. Everyone knew him. However, in order to become Nisgala, he needed to have the process of the Seder of the 10 years in the middle, which are Keneged, they're equivalent to the 10 spheres. So these are the Yemei Tmimim, that if you look at them, you become Yodea Hashem. And Remendel Ardaka completed with tremendous dveikas the end of the pasuk. But Nachalasim Lo'ilam Tiyah, he says, with this Nachla, which is the Torah the Baal Shem Tov taught us, Lo'ilam Tiyah, will be able to come to Artzeina Akdosha, will be able to come to Welt, will be able to come to Eretz Yisrael. So, B'chura, he means it'll be able to be brought down in this world, but maybe it's alluding to the fact that Remendel Taka was able to travel with this Torah, with this revelation, and the Baal Shem Tov's Torah to Eretz Yisrael. And after this, in ecstasy, the Mendel is avekin and tanzen, the Simcha G'dayla, he, so to speak, led himself into a tremendous dance with tremendous joy. So now, Ois Hey, the next chassid by this Farbrengen, after the Radatz, Rav Tzvichein, chassid from his father, named Rabbi Yaakov Haradaker, and repeated the Vart of Rabbi Haradaker, now, HaChassid HaMakubal Reb Leib Hoffman, he explained the Torah of the Radatz about these 2 Shemas Havaya. And he explained it al derech the following pasuk. The pasuk says, Atahu Havaya Levatcha. And he says these are 3 levels lifnei atzimtzum, before, so to speak, the distillation of the Eibishter's oiros, before it comes into Ishtalshalos. What are these 3 stages? He says there's Ata. Ata is just you. It's not referring Kivyachal to the Eibishter by name, because it's a level, it's Atzmos Baruch Hu. It's Kivyachal, the Eibishter himself, which is not hinted and not alluded to and cannot be constricted or defined by any ois, any letter and any koitz, even spike, so to speak, the crowns of the letters. And he stopped and gave an extensive, Reb Leib stopped and gave an extensive explanation to what oisis and koitz means, in order to explain that Ata is above that. So he says, the oisios, they're a level which is limited. It has a form, it has a shape, and hence it's limited. And even the spikes, the koitzin of these oisios, they're not relieved of this limitation. They're connected to the shape of the ois. And therefore, obviously their limitation is also their quality. Ois is Meloshen Asa. It comes because it reveals. But it reveals, once it's revealed, it's limited to that revelation. Avol Ata, when we're talking about the word Ata, that's the way it's referring to Atzmos, that's not hinted or alluded to in any letters, and because it has no form or no limitation. Then the next word in the pasuk is Ata Hu. Hu is Shem Havaya Hanelam. It's already referring to him. Okay? It's not Lashon Noichach. It's Shem Havaya. He has a name, but you're not referring to him by name, because it's the way the Eibishter's name is not yet given to us in a way that we can refer to him by that name. It's the way that name is included and absorbed in Atzmos. So it's a name, but the way it's in the Eibishter himself. And that's why it's Hu Levadcha. It's the way it is, only to him himself. It's Lifnei HaTzimtzum. Shezeu Pchinas Havaya Levadcha. It's Malchus the Ein Sof, the way it is before the Tzimtzum. So this Levadcha is the Malchus the Ein Sof before the Tzimtzum. But this is all in order that there should be Havaya after the Tzimtzum, the Partzufim al Yonim HaKlolim. That there should be Shem Havaya again before it comes into the Atzilus Bri Yitzir Asiyah. There's the Atzilus the Klolos and there's Olam as the Klolos. And over there, there's Shem Havaya that's considered Golu. It's Havaya, is still above Olamais, but it's in Olamais HaKlolim. And the Partzufim al Yonim HaKlolim. And in order for this Gilu, so this is the second Shem Havaya. The Shem Havaya Golu, which is equivalent to the way the Baal Shem Tov was revealed, and this comes about by the Eser Spheres that are in Malchus the Ein Sof. We said that Shem Havaya Golu comes about through Malchus the Ein Sof. These are Eser Spheres, not the way they are in Atzilus, even above that. The way they are in Malchus the Ein Sof, before the Olam is the Klolos. And through Spheres of Malchus, the Malchus, that gives way for this Gilui of Kiviyachol, the Shem Havaya to have this Ramis. Now, this was his explanation. And now, Reb Leib Hoffman, the Mekubal, after he explained the Tifavart of Reb David Tzvi, he continued describing a Yechidus he had with the Rebbe Marash. And he says, one of the times, says Reb Leib, that I was in Yechidus by the Rebbe Marash, I asked him a few inyanim. And I actually had marked in my mind a few other things I wanted to ask. However, because I was there for a while, for a long time, and it was beyond the allotted time that the Gabbai, Reb Leivik Mesharis, which was the one that he decided who goes in first and who goes in second, it was beyond the time he allowed me. So even though the Rebbe was showing me upon him Me'iris, a shining countenance, and he was extensively talking to me, and he was answering clear on all my detailed on all my questions, but because Reb Leib Mesharis opened the door twice, indicating that it's time to go, and everyone was afraid, as the Friedrich goes at the bottom, that if you don't listen to him now, so next time he won't let you in. Says Reb Leib Hoffman, I started going out. Then, with tremendous Ruach HaKodesh, Reb Marash turned to me, he benched me, and he looked at me, and he said, Leibe, which is a friendly nickname. Du trachst mi koich dem Baal Shem Tov. You're right now thinking about something of the power of the Baal Shem Tov. Willst du fragen? You want to ask? Ask. Willst du fragen? Frag. V'amarti, says Reb Leib, I responded to Reb Marash, by mir is epis abgelegt. I have this going understanding, this clarity, that the Baal Shem Tov and the Mezritcher Magid and the Alter Rebbe, they are the three levels of Keser, so to speak, the crown that's above the spheres, and Chachma and Bina of Chassidus. So to speak, in the Torah of Chassidus, they're the levels of Keser, Chachma, and Bina. The Rebbe Marash's face changed. He became extremely excited, and he stood up the entire height and said, this is true, however, only in regards to the way it's revealed and the way it comes about. It emanated Milamayla, the Torah Chassidus. In the Seder, Galas of Torah Chassidus, from above to below, so that's the way it is by us. The Baal Shem Tov and the Mezritcher Magid and the Alter Rebbe are taka the way you say, the way Reb Leib said, Keser Chachma Bina. And as is b'mochash b'poil. This is the way it is factually. That the Seder Galas of the Baal Shem Tov was similar to the way Keser functions, because we said the Baal Shem Tov is equivalent to Keser. How does Keser function? That even the way it's revealed and, so to speak, brought into existence as its own Kiviyachal Sfira, it still stays hovering over. It's a Keser, it remains a crown, and it's Makif. And it's Makif all the levels equally. That means from the highest of the high to the lowest of the low, it's equally Makif. It's equally the crown to all levels. And he says this is the way the Baal Shem Tov was revealed, Taka, like this level of Keser. That before he was Nistar and Nelam, initially, that's Oimik Roim, but even when he was revealed, it was still Makif HaKloli, and he was Seiv of Makif, the highest and the lowest. And his highest levels when he was Aliyas and Neshama, the Neshama of the Baal Shem Tov went to the higher Olamais, and also when he lowered himself down into this world to make a Moifes Bepoil in this world to help people. It was all Bashva Gemura. They were all in the same level, similar to the level that he reflected, which is Kesser. Then there's the Magid. We said this is Chachma. He said the Magid, his heart wasn't bought by the Baal Shem Tov through Moifsim, and not through Makifim, through shining light. The Magid looked for Haskalah, for intellect, and then a Kudas HaChachma, just the period, the essence of understanding. And he found this by the Baal Shem Tov and became his man. This is Nekudas Chachma. And then the Alter Rebbe, he says, you should know the Alter Rebbe, it didn't help just this Nekud of Haskalah. The Alter Rebbe looked to unpack and reveal in this world a level of Havana, which is Bina, which is unpacking. And he says, the Tata Nedetzelt, says the Rebbe Marash, my father, that someone said, told me that the Zayda, the Alter Rebbe told him that I wanted I established myself and searched for Yediyas HaTorah. When I was establishing myself in Yediyas HaTorah, I searched for Havana. And then I heard that in the world there are two places where I can get this gruntig understanding. Vilna and Mezrich. In Vilna, you learn how to learn, and in Mezrich you learn how to daven. I searched Bina Liba. I wanted the level of Bina, as Reb Leib and the Rebbe Marash is agreeing with him, and is now quoting the Alter Rebbe saying about himself. I wanted the level of Bina, the way it penetrates the heart, the Leiv Mevit. And for this I came to Mezrich, and he says, Darton over there, I found what I was searching for, B'midah Meruba, with a tremendous shefa. However, now goes back to the drawback of the Rebbe Marash, and he said this is all in the way it was revealed Milamayla. However, with the way the Seder Hanhaga was from the Hashgacha Yena in the level of Madrigas. However, in the Seder Avodah, when referring to the way we climb the rungs from bottom upward, the way we connect with them, it's different. As we're going to see, that the Baal Shem Tov, the Mr. Shemag and the Alter Rebbe, in Avodah, the way we connect to them is Chachma, Bina, and Das. That the Alter Rebbe is not Bina, rather he's Das. And at Messiah, and he said, he concluded with the pasuk. The pasuk says in Mishlei, Havaya b'chachma, Hashem b'chachma yasad eretz, koinin shemayim b'tzvuna. He founded the earth with Chachma, and he established the heavens with wisdom, and Bedaita with Das, Tahoimus Nifku, the bowels of the earth have split, Ushchakim, and the highest of high Yira Futal should rain down dew. So he explained, as Zolzain der Herr von Shem Havaya, in Oilam mit Havana v'Klita, in order for Shem Havaya to be B'chachma, Yasad Eretz, it should be the wisdom of the Eibusha should come down into this world in a way of Klita, in a way of Yasad Eretz. It's B'chachma, which is the Baal Shem Tov. Right? We said in Avodah, the Baal Shem Tov is Chachma. Koinen Shemayim, what's the level of establishing the heavens? Is the Svuna that's referring to the Mizrach Magid. And B'daitoi, that level of Das is the Alter Rebbe. That this is Das of Gal Yisrael Torah and Chassidus with Avodah Shabalev that comes into the heart, the poil, that's Das. Das is what morphs from the intellect into emotion and into the heart. This is into Mesiras Nefesh B'poil. He says this is B'daitoi Tahoimus Nifku. Tahoimus, the bowels, they split. This is referring to the Alter Rebbe. That through them is Ushchakim. This, so to speak, was continued. This job of coming down into Tahoimus was continued by all the Rabbeim. Ushchakim is Melashon Shoichik. They, through their avodah and their guidance of Chassidim, they took the heart of stone and they ground it, so to speak, to turn it into a soft leiv basar, and yirafutal. This rains down dew, so to speak, till Bias Moshiach. So Chura indicates, it says Tchias HaMesim will come through dew, And this is already the Torah and the so to speak taste of Mashiach. Now, I was going to point out that the Rebbe brings that it's other places is brought that the Baal Shem Tov and the Zercha Magid are two levels in Keser, Arach and Atik, and Alter Rebbe is Chachma, and the Mittler Rebbe is Bina. It's called Tzedek is Das. It's other places. These two, the Chachma, the Baal Shem Tov and the Zercha Magid being Arach and Atik, two levels in Keser, is also brought elsewhere in the Likkutei. Okay. After Reb Leib concluded, the Chassid Reb Yaakov Mordechai Bespalov, which was the Rav in Poltava, he also took part in this special Farbrengen. He now spoke up. And he was a Baal Hargish, as we're going to see. And he then told over that once he was also in Yechidus. He continued on the theme that Reb Leib started. And he said, I was once in Yechidus and I asked a few things that were mentioned in the Maimer of that Shabbos, which discussed the concept of Ak, Adam Kadmon, which is the tzir of this world, but the way it is in a Kaaba. And the Rebbe Marash told me, learn the drush Lamnatseach al Hashminis, which is found in Likkutei Torah, and then go to my son, referring to the Rebbe Rashab, and ask him to give you the beer, the written beer on this Maimer of the Alter Rebbe in Likkutei Torah that was not yet printed. Behemshich, that discussion, says Rabbi Yaakov Mordechai, the Rebbe Marash said, a tzir mukhshi of parts of Ak, if you want a, so to speak, a tangible image to envision the parts of Ak, which is the way the Oilamos here stand in Kivyachal, the Ibish just tzir, the way it is above. That's like the Baal Shem Tov. In which case, Adam means the way he was a man down here, and Aliyas and Neshama, the way he was when he went up in a Hechra Oilamos, he was Kechada, equal. This is in the same line of what Reb Leib told the Rebbe Marash, and the Rebbe Marash agreed that the Baal Shem Tov was like Keser, that the Rebbe Marash described that Keser is Makif, is even the way it's Oimek Roim and Oimek Tachas Kechada, the way he said in the previous ice. Now says Rabbi Yaakov Mordechai, because I saw that the Rebbe Marash is very ufgelig, he's very upbeat and happy, he's flowing, he's responding. So I asked on the Alter Rebbe, this is the Baal Shem Tov, it's the Tzir Mukshi of Ak. What was Alter Rebbe? So the Rebbe Marash answered, the Rebbe, similar to what the Rebbe Marash told Rebbe Leib, he said the Alter Rebbe B'Sharsha is Das Hanelam. It's the highest and concealed form of Das, but that's the way it is B'Sharsha. Like the caveat the Rebbe Marash said to Rebbe Leib, this is the way it is in root of things. Ubiskalusai, the way it's revealed, it's Moichas Tima, it's the Moyach Sason, which is Seichel Nelam Kol Rayin, it's the Seichel, the way it's higher than all understanding, but through his Mesiras Nefesh, he revealed the Seder Avodah Derech Milmata L'Mayla, again from below to above. So he's the Rebbe, and now he explained Das, but in a different oisius. This is the same explanation of Das, but Das means connection. Over here he said this in regards to connection of Rebbe and Chassidim. And he said that with his Mesiras Nefesh he poiled Milmata L'Mayla, is given Rebbe, and as is Farana Rebbe, is Farana Chassidim. He's a Rebbe, and when there is a Rebbe, there's Chassidim. And also Rabbi Yaakov Mordechai, recounting this, Yechidus broke down, and he was crying bitter tears, Moishlish, to the extent that all the Masudim, they were wondrous about this, like, where did this come from? They started asking of him, stop crying, nothing helped. To the extent that Reb Chassid, Reb Leib Hoffman, he turned to him and he said, it's just Azman Simcha. Now it's Chai Elul. It's a time of Simcha. And it's a Simcha Mishulashas. It's a triple Simcha. The birthday of the Baal Shem Tov, the day the Baal Shem Tov was revealed, and by the Rebbe is a Simcha Zachasna of his Ben Yachid, Rebbe Rashab, son of Friedrich Rebbe's Shabbat Brachas. Is das Faraveinen? Was is das Faraveinen? What kind of crying is this here? Poltava Rav. And he a little sharp with him. He said, Poltava Rav, Rabbi Yaakov. referring to Rabbi Yaakov Mordechai. But daf tshuva, you have to do tshuva. What is this on Shabbos, on such a celebration of Chai El, this triple simcha? And Rabbi Leib started a niggin. And the Friedrich Rebbe parenthetically says he was a menagin nifla. And all the Mesubim, all those gathered, helped him and joined the sing the song. Chassid, Reb Shalom, Reb Hillel, we said the Mishamish, and Reb Asher, Nikolaiver, they all joined in a very Freiliche song. They started dancing, and after them, they were joined by everyone besides Rabbi Yaakov Mordechai. He was still, his head was leaning on his hands and crying. They poured all the kaises to say l'chaim, and at that point, Rabbi Yaakov Mordechai raises. It's after they finished dancing. They Rabbi Yaakov Mordechai raised his head, or he stopped crying, and he said in a crying tone, "The Rebbe Miriamot gesagt, what was Rebbe telling me? As es is Faran a Rebbe, is Faran Chasidim. If there's a Rebbe, there's automatically Chasidim. But he says, aber Chasidim was tun, as is aber a Chasid, nitkin Chasid. This is all Chasidim that do. But if you're a Chasid, that's not a Chasid. If you're a Chasid, that's not a Chasid. You're connected enough, Machman the Rebbe Ois Rebbe. You're connected enough to be connected to the Rebbe, but because you're not fully there, you're making the Rebbe Ois Rebbe, because you're not a Chassid. And the Rebbe is given a Rebbe. Hat gemacht Chassidim. The Rebbe is a Rebbe and he makes Chassidim. When Chassidim, and then was they saying given Chassidim, because they were Takatzir of Chassidim, and Anshe Ma'asev, Avodah Shabalev, they were Mechazak, so to speak. They caused him to be a Rebbe. They strengthened him and gave him the power to be a Rebbe. And that's what he was crying about. We have to be Chassidim, Anshe Ma'asev, and in the same vein, Das connects. It also seemingly also connects to what Rav David Tzvi quoted, that Yidei Hashem Yimei Tmimim, those that bring completion, connect the Eibishter to all the world of the Eibishter. We cause this Das, this connection between the Alter Rebbe and Chassidim. We have to be Chassidim. We are, but now we have to be Chassidim in a way that we're taka Durch and Durch, so we connect and we make that the Rebbe should be a Rebbe.